we are so close to the college football playoffs, and we're going to see so many of these NFL draft prospects stock change throughout these next couple of games. So today I wanted to do kind of like a pre-college football playoffs, end of like the conference championships mock draft. I think this is shaping up to be a very entertaining NFL draft because last year Cam Ward ends up going number one. We see a quarterback go number one in 2023 and in 2024, but this could start to feel like 2022 where a defensive player could go number one like Trayvon Walker did, but a lot better of a quarterback class in the first round. Like, we're not going to see just one quarterback like Kenny Pickett go. We're going to see multiple QBs go in round one. And I also want to do maybe some trades today as well here in this mock draft. So right now when I'm recording this, it is ahead of week number 14. So maybe the Titans will not have the number one pick anymore by the time you guys see this. Either way, we could think about some teams potentially trading up in this draft. And I want to have, I think, a team trade up for number one here with the Tennessee Titans. And what team here would probably trade up for a quarterback? I think a couple. We still have to see a little bit more of Tyler Shuck. Obviously, the Giants are going to trade up for a quarterback. The Raiders would. The Browns would. I think the Jets would wait a little bit. You never know with the Cardinals at this point. I mean, the Rams having a top 10 pick from the Atlanta Falcons is crazy. I think I'm going to have the Cleveland Browns trade up for the number one overall pick, though. I feel like I don't think it's going to be Shedeur Sanders going forward. He looked fine against the Raiders. Obviously, it was going to be a tough matchup against the San Francisco 49ers. I don't think you could expect Shedeur to be like your franchise star. I think there's a lot of risk into that. He was a 5th round pick, and we're going to try to trade. I think it would be cool for the Titans here to get 2 first rounders. So I'm sure there'd be some other stuff involved here. It's only round 1 mock draft. I'm sure some other day 2 picks, or maybe a 2027 first will be in this trade. But either way, we are going to see the Titans pick at 5 in this draft and 26, which the Browns have from the Travis Hunter trade. So the Browns are on the clock. That's not going to be the only trade I think I'm going to do today. And we are going to take a quarterback. So what quarterback do you think could end up going here? Now, what could happen in the college football playoff could maybe incentivize Dante Moore to stay in the NFL draft. Right now, I think he's going to stay. I will have him in this draft. So it really comes down between Ty Simpson of Alabama to go number one or Fernando Mendoza. And I think it's still TBD if like Mendoza could win the Heisman. So I think Mendoza would still go number one in this class. He's got the modern day NFL size, arm that you would want in your franchise quarterback. He's somebody the Browns could legitimately build around here. They would only be giving up like 2 first round picks here, one they got from last year. It's not like they're giving up additional first rounders in their possession. I'm sure there'd have to be a couple seconds or thirds because you got to pay that QB tax in a trade, and you would have maybe iffy receivers, but Njoku, Harold Fannin, not the worst in the world. You'd maybe like to upgrade Jerry Jeudy or Cedric Tillman. They're hopefully going to get off the Deshaun Watson money completely very soon, which can give them a little bit more financial flexibility in the future. You have your franchise running back right now in Judkins. The offensive line, we'll see how it looks like next year. I think you definitely need to add another tackle, but this is like a playoff-ready defense for sure. Graham, Garrett, Ward, Tyson Campbell. There's plenty of playmakers on the defensive side of the field here for Cleveland that they could legitimately make the playoffs in 2026. I have no idea if Kevin Stefanski is going to be their head coach or not. Will they let him go, or will they give him a little bit more leeway? We'd have to wait and see. So the Giants here at 2, I'm also going to trade down. And what team would probably trade up here for a quarterback? It would probably be the Raiders or maybe the Jets or the Cardinals as well. I don't think the Giants would want to go too far either. So I think we're going to have them trade down with the Raiders. And this will be pick 4, pick 2, and there'd be like some seconds. There'd definitely be maybe like a 2027 first, kind of similar to like the Mason Graham, Travis Hunter trade. But just for this draft, I'll be 2 for 4 in this. So the Raiders are on the clock, and it really comes down to what quarterback you think could go higher between Ty Simpson and Dante Moore. I think Ty Simpson, it hasn't been super kind to his draft stock as of late. He was a Heisman candidate at one point as well, and then Alabama goes on to lose to like Oklahoma. I think for now, though, I would still have Ty Simpson go number 2 here in a mock. I like Dante Moore as an NFL quarterback a little bit more, but this is me predicting what could end up happening. And I think for now, Simpson, I still think has a chance to go higher than Moore. There's also a chance that Moore is not even in this draft and he goes back to Oregon for another year, and he could be the favorite to go number 1 in the 2027 draft. That's for sure. So for now, I'm going to have Ty Simpson go, but I'm still going to have, I think, Dante Moore go in this draft. So at number 3, we have the Saints. This is where I think they would go with a different position other than quarterback. I don't think they would take Dante Moore here. I think this team has a lot of holes to fill on their roster. Maybe they go in with Tyler Shuck. Maybe they take a chance on like an Anthony Richardson or a Kyler Murray or somebody like that next year. So I feel like this team should just try to get like a defensive playmaker, and you either go the upside pick in Ruben Bain or you go upside and floor in Arvell Reese, who can kind of play all over the field for this team. I mean, they just need everything at this point, and DeMario Davis isn't getting any younger. So I'm going to go Arvell Reese here from Ohio State, arguably the best defensive player in this class. You could probably throw him at edge a little bit, off-ball linebacker, obviously, maybe in slot corner at one point as well, and some passing downs. He's really a do-it-all athlete at Ohio State, and I'm really excited to watch him and his draft stock throughout the college football playoffs, and obviously the quarterbacks as well in this class. So the Giants are here at number 4. I still think they could go offensive lineman. Now, a lot of my Giants friends think that their offensive line is fine, and that's okay. Maybe it's too high to go with Spencer Fannell or Mayagoa or Proctor, Dunker, Lomu, any of those guys. So let's have them get like a legitimate... The Giants also need corners. Like, watching Deontay Banks, I can't do it anymore, and I think you got to add somebody else to like Paulson Adebo and Drew Phillips next year. I think it's tough to take a corner here specifically, though. Like, do you want to reach on Jamon McCoy? Maybe you think about trading down again, but McCoy's coming off an ACL tear. So how do you feel about his talent right away? I mean, the Giants don't necessarily need a safety, but do you just take just the safety, no pun intended, of the Caleb Downs pick, because he's just going to be a good player in this league? I think I'm going to have them go receiver. And I'm going to have them select Jordan Tyson, though, just because I want to give Jackson Dart another weapon. I'm tired of, like, the Theo Johnson, Daniel Bellinger tight end reps, because there's no other receiver outside of, like, Wan'Dale Robinson that can get open. So now I would have Malik Neighbors. You would have Jordan Tyson and Wan'Dale Robinson and, like, Darius Slayton as your 4. I could work with that next year. I would like to see the Giants add some type of tight end in the offseason as well, or at least some competition there. But you got Cam Scatterbo coming back. Like I said, the offensive line needs to get better. The secondary needs to get better. I'm not going to say that wide receiver is their biggest need. I just think like what Jordan Tyson can provide you as like an elite wide receiver too is very enticing to help further along Jackson Dart's development going forward. And you're really building an elite wide receiver duo between Tyson and Neighbors. And Neighbors will hit free agency 2 years earlier than Tyson. So you're going to have like a 2-year window of Tyson still under his rookie deal while you have to pay Neighbors. And you're even going to get like 2 more years of both these guys under their rookie deals at the moment. So we're on the clock here with the Titans at number 5, who traded down. We know they're not going to take a quarterback. I think Cam Ward has shown enough flashes this year where he still looks like the guy. I would probably take Cam Ward over any quarterback in this draft. Mendoza's, I don't know. It's iffy between him and Mendoza, who I like a little bit more. I definitely like Cam Ward more than Ty Simpson. Dante Moore is also an intriguing guy as well, just kind of based off his experience, like maybe lack of experience and how good he can be moving forward. I mean, I think a team could trade up with the Titans, that's for sure, if they wanted to take a quarterback. But I think they're going to go Ruben Bain, who probably still has the highest upside as an edge rusher in this class. I really do like Kedrick Falk and David Bailey in this class as well. I could see Bailey going, depending on how Texas Tech looks like throughout the rest of the season. I think he could go pretty high as well, but I'm going to have Ruben Bain go, who honestly the Titans would have been happy maybe taking at 1. If they stayed at 1, that's probably who I would have taken. And now they have an additional first rounder, Bain. I mean, Carnell Tate could have been an option here as well. Definitely Jordan Tyson if he was on the board. So we're on the clock here at number 6 for the Washington Commanders. They just need to get better in all aspects, or at least younger is what I mean, honestly. I don't think they're going to take an offensive lineman here at number 6. They could definitely go with a Keldrick Falk 100% or David Bailey, but I think Caleb Downs has to go here. This team just needs another playmaker in the secondary, and Caleb Downs may arguably, or like individually, be the best player in this draft. It's just like positional. Dante Moore is definitely in play here, but I just don't expect the Jets to take a quarterback in this point, and I don't know if they would take a developmental guy. I mean, maybe they would in Dante Moore, but I think the Jets could go with like a bridge quarterback option and really just have the ammunition, 3 first-round picks in 2027. Maybe they even trade down here at one point as well, but I think we need to get another receiver target next to Garrett Wilson. Let's take another Ohio State guy in Carnell Tate, an 85% contested catch rate. Unreal player, unreal talent at Ohio State this year. Obviously not the wide receiver one because they have Jeremiah Smith. Maybe the Jets get Jeremiah Smith in 27. Who knows? And they just run have a trio of Ohio State receivers. But yeah, we're gonna have Tate go here. We need another receiving target for this team. I don't mind Mason Taylor, as the tight end going forward. I think Breece Hall is probably gonna get like a transition tag or some type of franchise tag in the offseason. They didn't trade him, so why would they let him walk for nothing? So I think they're gonna tag Breece Hall. You have Mason Taylor. You now have Tate and Garrett Wilson and maybe A.D. Mitchell as your wide receiver 3, who's looked good so far as a Jet. I really like the Jets offensive line as well. I'm not sure which bridge quarterback they would go. Is it like a true bridge quarterback, like a 1-year deal guy? Would they take a chance on trading for Mac Jones? Or what if Kyler Murray got cut? That's where I'm intrigued about here for the for the Arizona Cardinals. Would they take Dante Moore at number 8? I think we are still ways away to figuring out if they would actually cut Kyler Murray. Would they trade Kyler Murray? He's just making so much money. And are they going to fire Jonathan Gannon? Will they have the next regime or the next coach, if they do fire Gannon, think that they can just save Kyler Murray's career? I don't know. So right now, I'm just going to have them go Keldrick Falk. They need another edge rusher, in my opinion. I think they could go for another receiver. But with Tate, I mean, you could take Mekhi Lemon here. But with Tate and Tyson off the board, it's a little less enticing, I think, to take Lemon in the top 10. So I think having Bailey and Falk here is kind of nice in Arizona. And now you'd have like Falk and Josh Sweat on the edge together, which I think is pretty scary going forward. Now, here's where I'm going to have my third trade as well. Now, the Rams could definitely take Dante Moore, have him learn behind Sean McVay, have him learn behind Matthew Stafford. Man, there's probably not a better spot, but I'm going to have a team, F it, overpay my Pittsburgh Steelers and moving up. They have to, man. You cannot operate with Aaron Rodgers coming back next year at what, 42, 43 years old? I mean, as a Steelers fan, I'm hoping there's a different head coach running the show. Maybe it's going to be an offensive-minded guy. So yeah, the Steelers would probably have to give up their 2027 first, their 2026, because you're moving up to take a quarterback. So I think you have to give up that 2027 first, and then maybe you'd give up like your third, maybe you'd have to give up your second, stuff like that as well. But we're just doing the round 1 mock. So the Steelers are going to move up with the Rams, who got this pick for moving out of the first round last year. And let's say like the Rams get 14 and 46 or something like that. And now they could really build up like great talent around Stafford or whoever going forward. An already good team as it is. And imagine you have 2 first-round picks still, and you have 2 second-round picks. Les Snead could definitely cook with that. So the Steelers are on the clock, and they are trading up to take Dante Moore out of Oregon. It's still not a guarantee that he's going to be in this draft as well. Like I said, there's a chance that he ends up going back to Oregon. A phenomenal deep ball, I think, could really have the precision, the poise, like the progression reads of being a good quarterback in the NFL, but I do think it takes some time. The Steelers roster is ready to win now, but I would hope that this team like resets it all. Like if you trade up for Dante Moore, I don't think that means you should be aggressive next year. I think that you should test out the Cameron Hayward trade market, the TJ Watt trade market, the TK Metcalf. I don't know. I'm fed up as a Steelers fan. You guys saw my one of my more recent videos. I had them trading up for Dante Moore. Maybe this is me just trying to cope. Probably is. So we're on the clock here at number 10 with the Bengals. I think they can go maybe offensive line in this class as well. But I think they could also end up going another edge rusher. I mean, Shamar Stewart hasn't really worked out too much. Miles Murphy has definitely not worked out. I think you can get like maybe an elite edge rusher one day in David Bailey from Texas Tech. I know the last Texas Tech edge rusher that went this time, like Tyree Wilson, didn't work out, but I think David Bailey is a lot better. The Bengals either got to go offensive line or defense, either one of those two. So we're on the clock here at 11 with the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, this is a team that probably could take Jeremiah Love. I have no idea. Well, I do know for sure that Kevin O'Connell will be coaching this team. I have no idea if Kwesi is going to be the main decision maker in this front office anymore. And I do expect there to be some turnover with the offensive line, and I expect them to bring in another quarterback this offseason to compete with JJ McCarthy. So I think they got to go their best, like the best offensive tackle in this draft in Spencer Fano. And then you can have him and Christian Darrisaw going forward, either protecting JJ McCarthy or the quarterback you bring in to compete with JJ McCarthy moving forward. On the clock here at number 12 for the Dolphins, they could definitely go Peter Woods if they don't love Kenneth Grant long-term in his role specifically. But I think you have a good option here of going either corner. Now, Jamon McCoy is probably the best corner in this draft, but you're worried about him coming off the ACL tear. So do you go Mansour Delane, who was really good this year for the LSU Tigers? I think that Miami, if they're keeping McDaniel and maybe keeping Tua, they'd want to compete next year. So I think you take at least the health of Delane over Jamad McCoy. So I'm going to do it, man. I've mocked it for a while. I hope Brett Veach does it. Yeah, Jeremiah Love, the best running back in this class, going to the Kansas City Chiefs. They desperately need a playmaker, somebody with athleticism, quickness, speed, elusiveness, acceleration, just something better than Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt moving forward. I think they could have definitely targeted like a Cassius Howell as well. They could definitely target a Jamad McCoy, who'd be kind of elite alongside Trent McDuffie in that secondary. And then they could also target like maybe Kenyon Sadiq if Travis Kelce ends up retiring. So we're on the clock at 14 here with the Rams. They traded down with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think they'd be in a great spot to maybe get the best corner in this draft in Jamad McCoy. Because yeah, if he looks anything like the 2024 tape, this could actually be the best corner in the draft. And I think that's going to make his draft stock a little bit volatile because, yeah, Tennessee's not going to be in the CFP, and I don't even know if he was going to come back for the CFP anyway. 15 here, the Carolina Panthers, one of the better storylines this year. We could get them another receiver for Bryce Young. We could get them a Mekhi Lemon. I mean, Ted McMillan has looked really good this year. I'd probably still like to see this team add to the defensive side. I mean, Sonny Styles would be a really fun addition to this front seven. I'm also thinking about maybe Peter Woods, who's still on the board here in this mock on that defensive line with Derek Brown, and now we're really building like this formidable pass rush moving forward. Yeah, I think I'm going to talk myself into Peter Woods and Derek Brown. That sounds actually freaking fantastic in Carolina. I think they should look to add some defense going forward. I think maybe they can look to get, like, you have your wide receiver 1 in Ted McMillan. Maybe you draft a wide receiver on day 2, but maybe you could sign one as well. Just like a good enough number 2. Doesn't need to be anything crazy. We're on the clock here with the Cowboys at number 16. I think defense has to still be another priority. I think Peter Woods would have been a good pick there. Peter Woods and Quentin Williams on the defensive line does sound nasty. You could have Cassius Howell stay in state, but I think Sonny Styles is probably the pick here out of Ohio State. I mean, there was talks that he could go like in the second round just a couple weeks ago, and he is just unreal as a tackler, in run defense, in coverage as well, like flying around all over the place. Kind of a dope name as well, Sonny Styles. Yeah, that could work in Dallas. All right, so we had that weird like Frank Ragnow coming out of retirement for the Detroit Lions as of late, and then he had like a horrible hamstring tear, so he is not going to be playing for them. I think they could look to add to the offensive line, which has taken a beating over the last year or so, and I think Francis Mauigoa does have potential to play inside or out, which I think gives Detroit a little bit flexibility. I thought they were going to go offensive line last year in the draft, but they went with Tyreek Williams. Didn't love that pick, so I'm going to go Mauigoa here, get a good offensive lineman that could either be on the other side of Penei Sewell or could play inside as well. We're on the clock here, 18 with the Texans. You know what? The Texans offensive line has actually not been that bad as of late. So I'm not going to go with an offensive lineman here for like the first time in a while. I wonder if Kenyon Sadiq would be a good pick here for CJ Stroud going forward. I just don't think they would take a receiver. Yes, Mekhi Lemon probably should have gone by now, but are you going to really just say like, okay, the Noel pick from last year or the Noel pick from last year, the Higgins pick from last year, those are just washes? I mean, you might get Tank Dell back. We'll see. I mean, Lemon is definitely better than those guys. Oh man, Mekhi Lemon. Yeah, like that sounds nice. I mean, this team needs a running back, but I don't think there's a running back that's going to go here. The only running back I think that's going to go in round 1 would end up being Jeremiah Love. Singleton, like early in the year, I think had that hype. Justice Haynes, I think could be a good running back, but I don't think it's going to go in round 1. So you know what? I'm going to actually have the Texans go Kenyon Sadiq here. Not going to go a full receiver, but can be a tight end weapon for CJ Stroud moving forward. That one might be a little bit unusual, I think, to definitely Texans mocks I have done in the past. Texans fans, you can let me know in the comments who you would have taken there in that spot. I would love to know. Ravens at 19. This is an easy one. This is Mekhi Lemon. I mean, the Ravens offense as a whole has been down this year. Their defense has been banged up a ton, and I could definitely see the reasoning for going like Parker or Banks or Terrell here, or even Cassius Howell, who's still on the board. But Mekhi Lemon could even be better than Zay Flowers one day. That's for sure. 20 here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They would have been an interesting Kenyon Sadiq pick, but I think we got to go defense. TJ Parker, I mean, had all the momentum of going like top 3 at the start of the year. I think it would come down between like who Tampa Bay likes more between him and Cassius Howell at A&M. I'm going to take Cassius Howell, who will be playing in the CFP. We have the Bills here at 21. Honestly, we could just go either Avion Terrell or TJ Parker. I do feel like it will be one of the Clemson Tigers. I mean, they could also go Denzel Boston as well. I'm going to have them go. I think they need another guy in the secondary or the pass rush. I'm going to go Avion Terrell here at 21 to the Bills. The Eagles at 22. I mean, this team could definitely add TJ Parker. I'm intrigued about adding Denzel Boston, though, with the idea or the thought that AJ Brown could get traded in the offseason, which makes like Buffalo a sick AJ Brown team. Definitely Baltimore. I mean, you go through some of these. Carolina would be a fun team. Kansas City, but I doubt Howie Roseman is trading him to the Kansas City Chiefs at any point here. I'm just kind of going through some of these teams that would actually trade for AJ Brown. I mean, the command, no, that wouldn't happen within the division. The Titans, yeah, right. He's going back there to Tennessee. Maybe the Raiders. If they get a quarterback, maybe they'd want to trade for AJ Brown or something like that. I would think AJ would still go for a first, but maybe not at this point with his contract and in this point in his career. Maybe a team not picking here in the first round would end up going for him. Either way, I'm going to take Denzel Boston here, which I think would signal the end of the A.J. Brown era in Philadelphia. I don't know if they want to deal with all of this every single year going forward. So the Jets at 23 here, they just kind of need everything at this point. So I'm just going to go best player available. And this is probably a really good value pick for them in TJ Parker. You have him and like Will McDonald going forward on the edge. 24 here with the San Francisco 49ers. I think this could be, they're not going to take a safety here. I think the only edge I'm probably considering left in the first rounder at this point is Romello Height from Texas Tech. But I think they could definitely go offensive lineman and Caden Proctor from Alabama, who definitely has some volatility to him. I think boomer bust prospect, maybe written all over him there at 24, but could be an upside play for San Francisco. 25, we have the LA Chargers, a team that's had just such a banged up offensive line this year. I think they can go Vega Ioane from Penn State, who's getting a lot of hype as of late to going in the first round and could honestly be the best interior offensive lineman in the draft. And we got to continue to protect Justin Herbert. Becton hasn't really worked out this year. Obviously, the injuries are unfortunate. Slater and Joe Alt both going down is just absolutely brutal. But I want to continue to invest in the offensive line. Like Zion Johnson didn't work out a couple years ago, so hopefully this one is a little bit better. We're on the clock here with the Titans at 26. This is the trade down with the Browns earlier. And I want to get a wide receiver. I think there's a little bit of a drop off between like Casey Conception and then I like Chris Bell, probably the second best or the next best out of like Strong, Elijah, Jacoby, Brazel, and all those guys. So I'm going to go Casey Conception here to the Titans. I think they need to add another receiver for Cam Ward. They could also go offensive lineman as well. I mean, it's a shame because they've invested so much in like Latham and Skoronski and Cushenberry in free agency, and they would have to add another one. Like they've already done that. But honestly, to keep Cam Ward's development linear, maybe they would. But honestly, you end up with Casey Conception and Ruben Bain in this draft. I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. So we're on the clock here at 27 with the Dallas Cowboys. We already got Sonny Styles in this draft for them. So they will have 2 first rounders in this draft. They only have 1 in next year's draft. I mean, we could add Caleb Banks to this defensive line as well. Honestly, I want to go defense in this draft. So you win Caleb Banks and Sonny Styles. Hell yeah, that's pretty electric. Maybe they would end up going like Jennings Dunker there. We're on the clock here at 28 with the Seattle Seahawks. I think this is a team that could look to add another corner. And I think Colton Hood has kind of been like, he has been the CB1 in Tennessee this year with McCoy hurt. And they were talks, like there were talks about them moving Reek Woolen at the deadline. So I think they could snag Colton Hood here. I mean, the Rams are picking at 29 with their pick. Yeah, maybe they would have taken Dante Moore earlier. Do you think they would try to take like a Lenore Sellers develop him? I mean, at this time last year, like Jackson Dart was never talked about it being a first round pick. So there's going to be somebody that's going to be like that popular lead up pick to the draft that can rise up boards. It was like Will Levis a couple years ago. It was Jackson Dart. I mean, it could be Nussmeier. It probably would be Sellers if he does stay in the draft. I don't know if he will. Drew Ahar, yeah. I mean, so many disappointing, I think, quarterbacks this year in college football, where I think I'm just going to have them go Jennings Dunker here to protect Matthew Stafford, who will be the starting quarterback one more year. We're on the clock here at 30 with the Broncos. I would love Kenyon Sadiq on this team. They obviously just aren't going to be able to pick this high enough in the draft to end up landing him. So I think I'm going to have them go CJ Allen, who's been playing really well as of late for Georgia, and I think could also end up being a first-round pick as well. The Broncos D is already good. Let's have it get a little bit better. On the clock here at 31 with the Bears. It's crazy. The Bears are at 31 and the Patriots are at 32. What is this, like 2007? I don't think they would go like Jonah Coleman or Singleton or Allen or Price here. I mean, Price going this high would be interesting as well. I don't think they would end up going that route. I think they could end up going Christian Miller from Georgia, just back-to-back Bulldogs here at the end of the first round. And we're on the clock here with the Patriots at number 32. I mean, we can continue to protect Drake May, and that's probably the goal. So I think Caleb Lomu could be a pick here out of Utah. I mean, it's probably not been the season he would have hoped for. So you're kind of doing this one off potential. If not, I would have them go Romello Height, maybe LT Overton here. I think I'm just going to have them like receiver as well is interesting. Like Chris Bell could definitely be in play here out of Louisville. He was a beast this year. Great route runner. I'm going to have them go Caleb Lomu to finish this off. I feel like that's just not the sexy pick, but we just got to, I think, build up the trenches for Drake May and this team going forward. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I did do my first like trading mock draft as well. We had the Browns trade up, the Raiders trade up, and yeah, maybe me coping, the Steelers trading up for a quarterback. Let me know if you agree or disagree with what pick I made for your favorite team down below. And if you guys did enjoy, I would appreciate you dropping a thumbs up. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.